Hello wonderful people, it's Wild here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to create this haunted mansion. This Victorian style mansion features tons of intricate details and a spacious interior, making it a show-stopping centerpiece or addition to any world. And don't forget, if you'd like a world download or schematic for this build, to check out the link in the description below. The materials you'll need are on your screen now. Keep in mind that for a large build like this one, it's always useful to have a few extra of each supply. And you can always have some fun switching out supplies to create a different look. For example, you can swap out the purple glass for lime glass. If you're having trouble getting any supplies, leave a comment and I'd be happy to offer some substitutions. Let's get building. Here is the outline for our haunted mansion. Now this is a large build, so it has a complex outline, so I recommend starting in one corner and then following along the grid pattern to put in an outline like this one. By putting in an outline, you can easily see what space the build is going to take up and check that you have enough space in your building area, and it makes building a lot easier. In the lighter color blocks, we've got the walls marked in there, and then the darker color blocks are showing where we've got extra details like chimneys, decorative elements off of the wall, and the front patio. Let's start by building a foundation using some tough bricks. We're just building one high here. For the front tower, I'm building 7 blocks across the front, and then I'll add 4 blocks going back. So these walls are going to be 5 blocks in total. I'll build one in from each side to create a 3-wide gap. Now coming off of the right hand side, I'm going to add in 10 blocks. Let's go back this way and I'm going to add in another 10 for a total of 11. Next, we're going to add in the back wall. I'm going to add 19 blocks as this wall is 20 blocks total. Coming back to the front, off to the left-hand side of the tower, I'll add in 3 blocks. Then from the back and front wall, I'll add in another 3. 2 blocks in from each side, I'll build out 3 blocks. And I'll connect these 2 walls. This side wall here should be 7 blocks across. We're going to add another layer on top of this foundation, but before we do that, I'm going to mark in a couple of doors. On this 3-wide wall, I'm just going to build 3 blocks up with some sort of temporary block in the center like this. In the center of the front tower, I'm going to build up 3 high as well. And then coming around to this side, I'm going to build up 3 high, 1 block away from the corner of this wall. So there should be 2 blocks towards the front and 2 blocks towards the back. Now that we've got that in, I can build up 1 higher with some more tough bricks all the way around the outline we've created. Next up, let's add in some flooring. So I'm going to come to the back right-hand corner of this large section of the build, and I've got some stone bricks here. I'm going to leave a 1 block gap and then build 2 out like this, 3 blocks across. This is going to create the hearth. The rest of the flooring is going to be stripped dark oak logs. Let's start over in this small room off to the left-hand side. I'll remove the lowest section of the door and I'll fill that in, and then I'm going to be creating a floorboard look with these. There we go. Next, let's do this section over here. I'll remove the lowest section of this door and I'm going to be filling these in this same direction, including this little archway. For this door, I'll remove it from the outside and place it in the opposite direction, running in line with the wall. Now for the largest section of the build, I'm going to make sure that these logs run the opposite direction to the walls, or rather the floors, in the adjacent rooms. That provides a little bit of visual separation between the floorboards. Let's fill all of this in. Now that the floor and foundations are in, we can start adding in the walls. I'm going to begin with some polished tuff, building up 7 high on the 2 front corners of the tower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next, I'm going to build up 7 high in the 4 corners of the largest rectangular part of the build. Now that those are in, I'm going to come to where we've got our hearth, and then using some stone brick, I'm going to build up 7 blocks, 1 block away from this corner column, and then I'll add another row of stone brick next to that. With all of those in, I'm going to grab some cyan terracotta now, and I'm going to add 1 layer all the way around the outline of the walls. Make sure you get these interior wall sections as well. If you're enjoying today's video and would like to access some additional benefits like world downloads of schematics for this or all my other builds, as well as access to a multi-world server where you can build alongside me, check out my Patreon. I would really appreciate your support and I'd love to have you join my community. And here's how that should look. Next, let's add in some windows. We'll start on this front wall. I'm going to count 2 blocks in from where I've got this post, and I'll build up 4 high using some purple stained glass blocks. I'll then leave a 3 block gap and then build up 4 high again for my second window. Rotating around to the right side wall next, I'm going to leave a 1 block gap and add in a 4 high window, and I'll do this on the other side. There should be a 5 block gap between these 2 windows. Next, we need to add in some windows onto this back wall. I'm going to start by coming to this right hand post. I'll leave a 1 block gap and add in a 4 high window, then a 3 block gap and another 4 high window. Then I'll count 4 blocks across. And after that, I'm going to add in a 3 by 5 window. So 3 blocks wide and 5 blocks high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should end up sitting 2 blocks away from the stone brick. I'm going to add another 3 by 5 window into the center of this wall. And then onto the side of this tower opposite the door over there, I'm going to add in another 4 high window. That's all the windows for this level, so we can build up to that 7th block height using some cyan terracotta, making sure we build all the way around the windows and over the tops of any doors. Just adding in the last section of cyan terracotta now, and you should be left with walls that look like this. They're looking a bit bare, but we'll be adding lots of details in a little bit. Coming back inside the build and still using the cyan terracotta, I'm just going to build 3 blocks down from the top of this wall all the way across these doorway openings. Before we add in the next story, we need to add a way to get up there, so let's add in a staircase. I'm going to come to the side of this door with some dark oak stairs, and I'm just going to start zigzagging my way up like this until I get to 1 block away from the wall. So you'll end up going up 3 block stairs. Then I'm going to add in a stripped dark oak log, and I'll continue going up in a zigzag till I reach the top. Just like that. Next, I'm going to grab some stone stairs and we're going to start going around this outline. I'm placing these in upside down. When I come to this large window, I'm going to leave a gap and I'll start 1 block away on the other side as well. So you'll have a 5 block gap between these stairs. When I come around to this side, I'm going to stop just above this doorway, so that way we don't have any stone brick stairs above this dark oak stair here. Next, I'm going to grab some spruce logs, and in this corner, I'm going to build up 7 high, so that's to the same height as the wall, just like this. I'm going to grab 2 more stone brick stairs and I'll face them out from this log at the top like this. And then I'm going to grab some stone slabs and torches. I want to light up this large section because I don't want any mobs spawning just yet. That can come later for a haunted house. And then I'm going to fill in this entire roof with some stone slabs. I'm going to make sure I leave a gap above where I've got my staircase. So I'll add a stone slab to connect to this stair. And then I can continue filling in as normal. you'll be left with a big L in the corner like this. As I'm filling in, I'm also going to fill in this gap between the stairs above this large window. And while I'm up here, I'm going to add in one more dark oak stair on top of this stone section. Next, we need to do this small room. I'm going to add in some torches, and then I'm going to grab some upside down stone stairs and place them around these 3 walls, leaving out the wall above the window. And here I'm just going to add in 3 stone slabs. I'm almost finished with the stone now, but I just need to do this front tower. Let's place in a torch. And then I'm going to go all the way around the outside of the rectangle with my upside down stairs. And I'll just need 3 stone slabs in the center. Now that we've got a platform, we can start adding on the second story. I'm going to begin with some chiseled tuff bricks and chiseled tuff. And I'm going to start in one corner and alternate between the two, going all the way around the outside edge. So I'm not going to go across these walls just yet. This is a little bit of a time-consuming task, but it's absolutely worth it as it adds such fantastic detail to your haunted house. So when I come to this edge, I'm going to come back around this way and leave this gap free. And again, I'm going to come in 2 blocks here and then come back around the outside edge, leaving this gap. There we go. Next, I am going to come to these walls here at the front and at the side. At the front, I'm going to leave a gap in the center. I need to come in 2 more blocks on either side like this. And then over on this wall, I'm going to start on the front side and then leave a 1 block gap at the end. There we go. For the flooring for this level, I'm going to add in a hearth at this back corner, leaving a 1 block gap, and then I'll build 3 blocks across with my stone brick. And then I'm going to use some stripped dark oak logs to create a floorboard texture as well. So for this section, I'm going to have the floorboards running in this direction, and then I'll have the floorboards in the opposite direction for the 2 side rooms. I'll keep filling that section in a second. So in this area, they're going to run in this direction, as well as in this section of the build. Alright, back to filling in this main area. I'm just going to build on top of the stone here, so that way I'm making sure I leave this L section above the staircase free, and I am going to build over the top of this log. Now we're ready to add in the walls for the second story. There's going to be a second story on the large rectangular section and the front tower, but not off to this left-hand side. I'm going to start by adding in some corner decorations to the 4 corners of the large rectangle and the 2 front corners of the tower. For this, I'll alternate between tough brick walls and tough bricks, adding 3 of each for a 6 high column. Now that all of those are in, I'm going to use some temporary blocks to mark in a 2 high gap for the doorway, here and here. And I'm going to grab some stone bricks and I'm going to come to the back side where we have our chimney. Now on this side of the hearth that's closest to this column here, I'm going to be building up to the same height of that column, so that's 6 blocks tall. There should be a 1 block gap. I'm then going to add 1 more stone brick going off to the side. Now that all of that's in, I'm going to grab some cyan terracotta and go all the way around the outline. just 1 block high here. I'm going to do the interior outline as well. I'm going to come across this wall, and I'm not going to add any more cyan terracotta on top of this section. There we go. Now we can add in windows. Most of the windows for this layer will be 3 blocks high. I'm going to start by adding a 3 block high window above these 2 windows here at the front. Again, using the purple stained glass. Around to this right hand side above these 2 windows, I'm going to add in 3 high windows as well. Again, with that 5 block gap between them. I'm going to add in a 3 high window above this window off to the left hand side of the tower. And then at the front in the center, I'm going to add in a 4 high window. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be opposite the door. Now onto the back wall. I'm going to start by adding a 3 high window above these 2 windows at the lower level. There's a 3 block gap between them. And then I'm going to have 1 more 3 high, 1 wide window in the center above this 3 wide window. So if we have a look, there's a 5 block gap between these 2 windows. Now that we've got all of our windows placed in, I'm going to grab some more of my cyan terracotta and I'm going to add in the walls up to this 6th block height, building all the way around all of the windows, going around across all the interior walls and above all of the doors. Here are all of my walls for this story. I'm going to grab some more cyan terracotta and I'm going to add 1 more layer all the way around the top, going over the top of where we've got the decorative columns and the corners as well. I'm also going over the top of the stone brick. Next up, I'm going to remove the temporary blocks for where I've got these interior doors. I'm going to be using dark oak doors and I'm placing them so that I'm standing inside the rooms here. Like that. Let's head downstairs. And I'm going to add in the doors here and here using a birch door this time. Again, placing from the interior of the build. And around on this side as well, from the interior. Let's head back upstairs. I'm going to add in a few torches so we don't have any mobs spawning. And I'm going to add in a roof layer. Using some stone stairs, I'll place these upside down all the way around this largest room. You can see that I'm 1 block from the top of the wall here, and we should be 1 block above the windows. Let's fill in the rest with some stone slabs. Next up, I'm going to fill in this whole floor using some stripped dark oak logs. I've got all of that filled in now and we just need to sort out this tower. I'm going to place in a couple of torches again. And then I'm going to add a ladder going all the way up this wall just beside the door. Next, I'm going to grab some stone stairs and I want to place a layer of these going all the way around the top edge here. So if we come inside the build, there should be 4 blocks above the doorway before we have the stairs inside the tower. And then on the larger room inside the build, we're going to have 3 blocks above the door. Let's finish this off with a couple of slabs. And then we can come up and continue up the walls for this tower. I'm going to grab some cyan terracotta and build 5 blocks across on top of this stone layer. This will be sitting 1 block in from the edge. Then I'm going to build 4 blocks back from that. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will end up sitting 1 block on this dark oak flooring of the attic space. I'm going to add 1 block in from either side and then I'll add in a stripped dark oak log just here. I can go ahead and fill in the rest of this floor now, leaving a gap for our ladder. and we can start working on the walls of this tower. I'm going to grab some tough bricks, and on the 2 front corners, I'm going to alternate between tough bricks and tough brick walls. I'm going to be using 3 tough brick walls and 4 tough bricks. Just like that. Then on the back 2 corners, I'm going to add in 2 more cyan terracotta, and then I'm going to alternate between tough brick and tough brick walls again, coming up to that same height. For these 2, we're going to need 3 tough bricks and 2 tough brick walls for each corner. To continue on with this tower, I'm going to grab a dark oak door and place it on top of this dark oak log here, and I've got 3 dark oak stairs to create a little staircase up. Next, I'm going to grab some more cyan terracotta and add 1 more layer all the way around the tower. On these 3 walls where we don't have the door, next I'm going to grab some purple stained glass and add in a 4 high window. And now I can fill in the rest of these walls with some cyan terracotta. I'm actually going to build up 1 high above these columns so that we're 3 blocks above the windows. We've got all of the bases of our walls in, so let's have a look at our haunted mansion. In a minute, we're going to be adding in the roof, but before we do that, we're going to add in the chimney. I'm coming around to the back of the build to do this, where we've got this stone brick section in the wall. For this, we're going to need stone brick stairs, chiseled stone bricks, and stone brick walls. Let's start down here at the base. I'm going to begin by building up 2 high with stone bricks on the back 2 blocks below these in the wall. Coming forward from that, I'm going to add in a chiseled stone brick and then a wall in front of here. Off to this side, I'm going to have an upside down stair, a chiseled stone brick, and then a right way up stair, and I'm going to add 2 more stone brick walls on top. Next, we're going to have a stair on top of this chiseled stone brick. I'm going to place in 2 stone brick behind here and then 2 stone brick walls in front of that. Then we're going to use a bunch of stairs to create an intricate design. We've got a right way up one, then an upside down one. Then facing out from the chimney, I'm going to place in 2 upside down stairs. I'm going to create a little square with my stairs. So 2 right way up facing in towards each other and 2 upside down facing in towards each other. Just like that. And then I'm going to add 2 right way up stairs on top of that. Next, I'm going to add in 4 blocks, 2 on top of each stair, just like this. Coming in front of this row of stone bricks, we're going to have a stair, a stone brick, an upside down stair, a right way up stair, and a wall. Then off to the side, I'm going to add in an upside down stair, a chiseled stone brick, and a right way up stair. Here's how that chimney will look. Next, we're going to continue the chimney up here in the attic space. So I'm going to come to these 2 blocks of stone brick where we have it built into the wall. And I'm going to place 2 behind them on top of the dark oak floorboards. This is going to be 2 blocks away from this wall here. I'm going to build up an additional 3 on top of each, so they're a total of 4 blocks high, and then I'll build forward and backwards. In this space, I'm going to place in a few stairs and a couple of stone bricks. And I'm also, or rather chiseled stone brick. And I'm also going to add in 2 stone brick walls. This wall is not going to end up connecting to the stair, and that's okay. Next up, we need to continue the chimney up higher. I'm going to place 2 chiseled stone bricks in the center of this kind of rectangular shape, and then I'm going to have a set of stairs facing away from each other on either side. Next up, I'll place chiseled stone brick on top of each of the stairs. And I'm going to add an upside down stone brick stair facing out on either side. Next up, we're going to create a design using a bunch of stairs, starting with 2 right way up facing away from each other, and then on either side I'll have upside down stairs facing out from the chimney. Next, I'll add right way up stairs on top of those, and upside down stairs in the center. And finally, to finish off this chimney, I'm going to add 6 stone brick walls to the very top. So from the side, it'll look like this, and this chimney is symmetrical. And then when we look from the back, it'll look like this. Let's start working on the roofs. I'm going to start with a small roof above this section of the build. Don't forget to place in a torch, and then we can get building. We're going to be using deep slate tiles here. I'm starting with some deep slate tile stairs, which I'm placing upside down, and these are going around this rectangle, and I'm placing them kind of like they're floating. Next, we're going to have a layer of deep slate tile blocks. We're coming in 1 block here, and I'm going to add 1 into each corner. Then we can add stairs into the rest of the spaces. Let's do this for 1 more layer. So we've got a layer of deep slate tiles, and then 1 in each corner, and then some more stairs. Then I'm going to grab some deep slate tile slabs, and let's add 3 to the center of this roof. Now for some details, let's grab some polished deep slate walls. I'm going to add 1 to each corner, and then on top of these blocks. And I'm going to grab some iron bars and place them around the top. I'm going to add in 2 more iron bars just to the tops of these 2 polished deep slate walls, and then I'm going to start working on this large roof. Let's start with some deep slate tile stairs, and I'm going to go all the way around this outline, placing them in upside down. For this section of the roof, we're just placing them onto the top layer of the cyan terracotta, and make sure you go underneath that chimney section. For this roof, I'm going to continue wrapping around the tower as well. For the next layer, we've got deep slate tiles, and for this, I'm just going to run into the side of the tower. I'll also just run into the side of the chimney as well. Let's go ahead and add an extra deep slate tile to the corner of the roof. And then we add a layer of deep slate tile stairs. Before we get much higher in this roofing process, let's add in a few torches to this attic space. Alright, for the next layer, we're going to add in some deep slate tiles again. Again, running into the side of this chimney. I'll add 1 to each corner as well. Let's go in with another layer of stairs. Next, I'm going to grab some deep slate tile slabs, and I need to fill in all of this roof. I'm doing this at the lower level here, so that way I can hang lanterns underneath the roof and I don't have mobs spawning up here. To add a bit of decoration, we're going to add a polished deep slate wall on top of each of these 2 high stacks of tiles, and then to each corner as well. And And then I'll go around the top edge of stairs using some iron bars. I'll also add one onto the top polished deep slate walls. Let's take a step back and look at this roof. Next, let's work on the tower's roof. I'm going to begin with a couple of deep slate tiles, just adding one to each of these corners, and I'm going to add a polished deep slate wall onto this stair and that tile, and this tile and this stair. Then I'm going to grab a few more stairs and just go around this edge, placing on top of the cyan terracotta here. Next, let's grab some iron bars, and I'm going to go all the way around the top of these stairs. And I'll add one on top of these two walls as well. Next, let's add the tower roof in. I'm going to place some upside down deep slate tile stairs all the way around this square, adding them onto the top layer of the cyan terracotta. And don't forget to light up this room as well. Next, I'm going to go around in a layer on top of the walls using some of the tiles. I'll add one to each corner and fill in the next layer with my stairs. I'll use a temporary block to add in another layer of tiles, add in the corners, and 4 more stairs. Let's use a lower layer deep slate tile slab to fill in the center, and then I'm going to add a polished deep slate wall onto each of the tile blocks and each of the corners of the roof. Let's finish off this roof design with some iron bars. We still have lots of details to add, but it's starting to look like a haunted mansion now. Let's start adding in some decorations to these windows, starting this front wall with the 4 windows. I'm going to start with the lower 2 by adding a note block above and below and connecting with some chains. Then for the base, I'll have dark oak stairs facing forward like this, and then on top of that, then I'm going to create an archway at the top with some stairs facing out from the note block and then upside down. Then I'm going to use some fences to connect all the stairs, and let's add the last few details. We have a trapdoor at the top and then a sign in front of both of these note blocks. I'm just adding the finishing details to this second window following the same design as before. Let's add in the trapdoor and then our 2 signs. And those are the lower story windows. For this upper story pair, we're going to have a similar but slightly different design. We'll start with a stair in the center and then a slab on either side. Then we're going to create an archway again with a note block at the top and then some dark oak stairs on either side. And I'll add stairs upside down and right way up to frame the window. Let's finish off this design with some trapdoors, filling in this gap and at the top. Some chains, 3 for each window, and then a sign in front of each of the note blocks. On to the rest of the windows. We're going to leave out the windows on the front of the tower and these large windows here and at the back. But the rest of the windows are going to have the same decoration. We'll have a note block at the top and the bottom. Then we're going to have stairs upside down and creating an archway at the top. And then upside down and right way up from that. We're going to have chains connecting the 2 note blocks, a trapdoor above, and to fill in the gap between the stairs and the side, and then dark oak signs in front of each note block. So for these taller 4 high windows, we'll need 2 trapdoors to meet the gap, and for these 3 high windows, we'll just be needing 1. Like that. Let's repeat this decoration on all the windows. I'm just adding the signs to the rest of these decorations. Almost there. And there we go, all of those window decorations are complete. So you can see we've done all of these side windows, the front windows. We've left this clear as well as the top tower windows, and we've done the side tower windows, and we've left this clear as well, and we've done most of the back windows. Let's add in the decoration to these 3x5 windows next. I'm going to start by placing a note block in the center, and I'll place a sign in front of that. To either side, we're going to have a dark oak stair followed by a slab. Coming up from here, I'll have 2 stairs, followed by 2 trapdoors on either side. I'll have an upside down stair next, and we're going to create an archway. So we have 2 stairs on each side pointing in like this. Then we're going to have a note block in the center and some fences connecting up. I'm going to place in some chains next on either side. And to finish this off, we'll have a sign here, a slab above, and then 2 trapdoors to either side. Let's create this same design around here. Just the last touches to add now. And there we go. Now for the tower window decorations. Let's start with this first front window. I'm going to place a note block at the base with a sign in front and then stairs off to either side. Then I'm going to use some grindstones, and I want to place them so this dark oak section faces outwards. Next up, I'll build 2 high on either side with dark oak fences, and then I'm going to create an arch using stairs, including an upside down stair in the center top. Next, I'll add in some chains. Now for the windows at the very top of the tower. We're going to start off in a similar way with our note block and sign and 2 stairs off to either side. Then I'm going to have a grindstone on either side, followed by 2 fences, and I'm going to leave a gaps space before creating a pointed arch. So I'll place in 2 stairs right way up, and then 2 slabs, one at the top layer of the stair and one above that. To fill in this gap now, I'll add in 2 upside down grindstones. Let's complete this design on the other 2 sides. You'll find that when you go to create the base of the window, you'll only be able to place in one of the stairs, but will continue as normal apart from that. So you can see I'm placing the grindstone on top of the roof block behind. If you're creating today's haunted mansion, be sure to join my Discord server and share some pictures. I would love to see how this spooky build looks in your world. With all of the window decorations in, we can start adding in this front veranda. I'm going to begin with some chiseled deep slate, adding 3 underneath where this door is, leave a 1 block gap, add 1 more, leave a 1 block gap and add 3 more after that. Next, I'm going to take some spruce logs. I'll build up 2 high against this wall, 2 high 1 block away in the corner. I'll add 2 in front of each of these gaps, and we're ready to add in the edge around the veranda. For this, I'm going to be using some dark oak stairs, placing them upside down along like this. Underneath here, I'll add in a slab in the 1 wide gaps, and a slab in the center of each 3 wide gap, and then stairs to either side of the 3 wide gaps, curving upwards. I'm going to be placing dark oak trapdoors at the base of each of these spruce posts, and I'll add buttons onto the block above that. Now for the floor, I'm going to be using some more stripped dark oak logs. You don't need to place them underneath these note blocks if you want to save on resources, but it is okay to add them in there as well. There we go. Another detail I'd like to add here are some stone buttons. I'm going to be placing these just underneath this decorative tuff layer, and I'll need to leave a gap above where we have this trapdoor. There we go. Now let's add some more posts around here. I'm going to add an extra spruce log on top of where we already have the logs, and I'll surround these with some dark oak trapdoors. For the railing, I'm going to be using grindstones, making sure the dark oak is facing outwards. And on top of these, I'll place some more trapdoors. On top of each of the spruce posts, I'm going to add in an anvil, making sure that it is running horizontally like this, followed by 2 polished deep slate walls and another anvil. On top of that, I'll add another spruce log, and I'm placing a dark oak trapdoor in front of that. And now we want to create some archways connecting each of these posts. In the 3 wide gaps, I'll use 2 dark oak stairs and then a trapdoor in the center. And then in the 1 wide gaps, I'll just add in a slab. Next up, we're going to add a decoration above this door. I'm going to leave a 1 block gap and then add in a dark oak trapdoor with 2 dark oak signs to either side. Now we can add in the roof. I'm going to start with a layer of deep slate tiles on top of this edge. And I'm going to add some upside down deep slate tile stairs off of the corner like this, leaving out this corner block. On top of these blocks, I'm going to add in some deep slate tile slabs, again leaving out the corner. And then I'm going to fill in the rest with some deep slate tile blocks. You can use slabs here, placing them on the top layer if you'd like to save on resources, but I'm using the blocks so that way I can hang some lanterns down from the roof later on. To finish off this design, I'm going to use some iron bars along the top, connecting back up to the wall. While I've got these iron bars in hand, I'm just going to add a few more onto the tops of these polished deep slate walls on the very top roof. Next, let's work on this front doorway. I'm going to begin with some spruce logs, building up 3 high against the wall on either side. There should be a 3 block gap between them, and then I'll leave a 1 block gap and build up 3 high again. I'm going to grab some stripped dark oak logs and place 3 across like this. And then I'm going to grab some dark oak stairs and wrap them around to create a staircase with the corners bent like this. Now we need to add some decorations. On either side underneath these stairs, I'm going to place in a chiseled deep slate. Then I can place a slab at the bottom and an upside down stair at the top. Now onto the posts, I'm going to add a dark oak trapdoor at the top and the bottom. And I'm also going to add them to the tops of the inside of these posts as well. And I'll add a button in between, as well as on the inside of these 2 posts. Next, let's create the archway over the door. I'm going to place in 2 dark oak fences going up. Then I'll add in some dark oak stairs, first upside down facing forward, and then right way up curving in towards each other like this. In the center, I'm going to add in a note block, and I'm going to add a trapdoor below and above that. Let's add in a dark oak sign next in the center. Above here, I'm going to add in another dark oak trapdoor flipped up with a sign off to either side. And for the railing on either side of this, I'm going to add in a grindstone with a trapdoor on top. To continue up these posts, I'm going to add anvils. This time I'm facing them the opposite direction to what we have over on the patio area. Then I'm going to add 2 polished deep slate walls and 4 more anvils, again facing this same direction. On top of each of the anvils, I'll add in a spruce log. And I'm going to connect them up like this and create an archway in the center. I'll also add dark oak trapdoors onto the face of each of these. Onto these logs here, I'm going to be placing in a plain dark oak sign. And now we can add in the roof. I'm going to start with some deep slate tiles, placing 2 across each of these logs, and then coming forward 2 like this, and then connecting in the center. In this little T shape, I'll add in 4 of my deep slate tile slabs, and then I'm going to grab some more slabs and follow along the shape created by the outline of these tiles. So if we look from above, here's how this shape should look. I'm going to grab some iron bars next and place them on top of these tile blocks. Next, we're going to add a stairway up to this door. I'm going to start with some dark oak stairs, placing 1 in front of this log and then 1 in front of that. Underneath, I'm going to add in a chiseled deep slate, and I can add a slab in front of that and an upside down stair onto that stair there. Then I'm going to grab some spruce logs and I'm going to build up 2 high on either side of this stairway, and I'm going to add a slab into this back corner. Now to decorate this, I'm going to use some dark oak trapdoors at the bases, some stone buttons. On top of here, I'm going to have 2 anvils facing outwards like this, and then 2 grindstones, or well, just the 1 grindstone to fill in here. And then we've got some dark oak trapdoors on top of everything to create the railing. Next, let's create an archway over the door. I'm going to place in some dark oak stairs upside down, then right way up and curving towards each other. We'll have a note block in the center, a trapdoor below and above, and we'll finish off with a sign. Just blank like this. Above here, I'm going to add a trapdoor in the center of the wall and then a sign to either side. I'm going to continue these signs around to this side wall, skip over where the window is, and then when I come to this back wall, I'll add a sign, a trapdoor, and then 1 more sign like this. For the next detail, I'm going to grab some chiseled tough bricks, some tough brick stairs, and some tough brick walls and create a design like this wherever we have these little markers placed. So that's on the corner of each of the large sections of wall, as well as in the center sort of section beside this window. On this smaller section of the build, I'm going to have them on the wall where we have the large window. Around here facing outwards. And over on this wall as well. For the next detail, I'm going to grab some dark oak trapdoors. I'm going to start at this back corner up by the roof by placing my trapdoor onto this wall. I'm going to place one on the corner from the back onto that wall as well, and then I'll drop down a layer. I'll leave a gap, drop down a layer, jump up and down, leave a gap, down, up, down, up, down, leave a gap, down, up, down. And then to finish off the pattern, I'm going to have one down here on this block and up onto the corner. Then we'll continue around this side, up onto this block, down, leave a gap, down on this block, up, down, leave a gap, one here and one on the corner. And I'll wrap one around here as well. So the ones that are on the lower level should flip down and the ones that are on the upper level should flip up. We have a few more of these trapdoors to add around over on this side, starting with one down, one up, and then down, up, like this, and we're going to switch to some gates and place these all around the edge underneath the roof of this section. Next up, I'm going to grab some stone buttons. I'm going to place 2 on either side of this wall like this. Then I'll place them on either side of the wall behind it. And I want to continue these buttons around on the main section of the build. So I'm going to place 2 onto this wall, leaving out this tower. We've already added the buttons underneath this patio area, but I will continue around on this side, making sure I'm just placing them onto the cyan terracotta, leaving out these tough corner blocks. And we'll also need to be skipping over where we have window decorations. Next, I'm going to grab some more dark oak fence gates and create a similar detail to these open gates on the roof below here, up on this upper roof. Of course, we won't be able to place them where there's trapdoors, but because we're opening the gates up, it gives the illusion that this design continues all the way around the roof. I'm not going to be wrapping these gates around this lower section of the tower, but I am going to jump over to the other side to continue this detail. There we go. I'm going to grab some polished deep slate walls next and place them onto the corners of these tough decorative blocks. And then I'm going to grab a few more dark oak fence gates to go around the top edge of this tower. Let's have a look at how our haunted mansion is looking. Next up, I'm going to come inside and work on a few more details in here before we add the finishing touches to the exterior. I'm going to come into this big space and we're going to start adding some decorations to these arches. I'm going to be using dark oak stairs placed upside down with some dark oak trapdoors like this. And then above each of these archways, I'm going to place in a trapdoor with a sign to either side, although in this case I'll only be able to add in the one sign. Over here though, I can add in both, and make sure you do this to both sides of the arch. Next up, we need to work on the staircase railing. In keeping with the style of the exterior, I'm going to add in a spruce log at the corner with an anvil on top, then a dark oak trapdoor. For the rest of the railing, I'll just be using some dark oak trapdoors like this, and I'll be adding some to the post as well. Coming upstairs from here, I'm going to be using some dark oak trapdoors to create an edge. I'll be using some temporary blocks, placing them along like this, so that I can place my trapdoors over the gap. This is going to allow me to use this space to build and decorate. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And then I'm going to place my remaining trapdoors onto this edge like this. So you can see everything is going to look connected. Whereas if I hadn't have placed them onto the same blocks, you'll end up with a little empty corner like that. So we've got our connected railing. Next, we need to add in some fireplaces, and both our fireplaces are going to have the same design. I'll have a chiseled stone brick on either side with a campfire in the center, surrounded by iron bars. Then I'll create an arch using 2 upside down stairs, a slab, a stair in the center, and then some stone brick walls going up from that to the roof. So once again, chiseled stone brick, campfire, iron bars, upside down stairs and a slab, right way upstairs, and then some stone brick walls. As you can see, I've added lots of decorations around the outside of my haunted mansion, and I've gone with a really overgrown look, like this build has been sitting rotting away for years and years. As you can see, I've added in leaves draping down off the roof which add into that overgrown look. I've used the same leaves, in this case spruce, to create some bushes here and there, and this helps to frame the build and just provide a little bit of dimension and texture to the landscape. I've used lots and lots of grass throughout this garden area, and that adds into the overgrown look. And then for my planting, I've stuck with dead bushes and these wither roses. Now that we've got the landscaping out of the way, let's have a look at some additional details. One thing I've added up here on the roof is some poofs of smoke coming from the chimney, just created with some naturally shaped blobs of white stained glass. Now, these don't have to be any particular shape, but I like to have them get larger as they get further away from the chimney and drifting off to one side. I've also used white glass to create these little ghosts. Aren't they so cute for a haunted mansion? I've got a few different types, and you can have fun coming up with different faces to put on your ghosts. Of course, with our ghosts, we have a graveyard down here, and I had some fun creating different grave designs, making sure that I use lots of supplies that are found in the build to keep everything cohesive. To add a pop of colour to complement the purple of the windows, I've added in these fun pumpkin patches. These are just created by making a natural shape with my farmland, placing in some pumpkin and wheat plants, and then I've accented it by creating these jack-o'-lanterns with these smaller ones on top of some armour stands. And adding sea pickles to a few of your pumpkins really adds to the realism. In here, I've also built a scarecrow with his muddy cloth, and I've used some dark oak fences, again tying in with the build to frame both of these pumpkin patch areas as well as my pathways. Another fun detail to add when creating a haunted mansion like this one are some of these spooky trees, and these are created using some of the dripstone and the dripstone blocks, as well as lots and lots of cobwebs. And if you'd like some more decoration ideas for both the exterior and interior of your haunted mansion, be sure to check out the tutorials in the description below. So now you've got a stunningly spooky haunted mansion for your world. If you enjoyed creating today's build, I'd really appreciate it if you consider liking and subscribing, and check out my Patreon to support me further. I'll see you in another video.